Sir, the budget has been variously described and criticized as one that increases the burden of the common man, who one which gives concessions to the rich and encourages foreign investments. I agree, sir, that it is all this and much more, but it certainly is not a highwayman's budget. To my mind, sir, the budget is sincere, conscientious, and at the same time, it is a bold effort on the part of the finance minister who is charged with heavy responsibility of finding resources for the third 5-year plan. This plan, to my mind, sir, is not at all ambitious in view of our needs. It may be looked upon as a rather heavy demand, but looking to our needs, it is not very ambitious. Sir, the fact that even the considerations of the coming general elections could not deflect the finance minister from the course which seemed to him necessary and proper should earn him the appreciation of every right thinking man. The common man's interest, as I said, is nearer to our hearts than perhaps some others can claim, or at least it is equally nearer to us, and yet there come times in our nation's history when it becomes necessary for the people to postpone the fruits of their labor and enterprise to secure the future. Here also, sir, opinions may differ according to the Communist Party. Such a time came during the last great war when they were exhorting people, the common people, to contribute their full might to the war effort. According to us, however, sir, we are passing through such a time at the present moment, and I have no doubt that the common men appreciate this position and will willingly tighten their belts, contribute their full might, and will surely return the Congress to power, having full confidence in the future and looking to a future where their posterity will be assured of a far better social and economic order. Who, sir, does not sympathize with the difficulties of the common man? As a matter of fact, most of us come from that class, and I am sure the finance minister would have liked to do away with some of the levies. None would have been happier if he could have done without these new levies, but there are, sir, certainly very imperative limitations. We are passing through a critical period. Sir, it may not be necessary to continue these levies for a long time, but rather I am inclined to think that before long it may be possible to give up some of them at least. I have very valid reasons to think so. Our public undertakings are coming to their own, and some of our important irrigation and power projects have just been completed. Some others are nearing completion, and in due course, I think in the very near future, they must yield returns. This will go a long way to lighten the burden of the common man. We might, sir, also resort to some other ways. I suggest that we might take to public trading in some specific items of export and import. That would also certainly go a long way and help us. The private corporate sector has been steadily growing and has been developing capacity. It is sure to benefit from all these present concessions and develop greater capacity. This sector must come forward to meet new demands and for taxation in the future. I agree that so far as indirect taxation is concerned, it has reached the saturation point, but the corporate sector, growing as it is in strength, in vitality, and in capacity, will not, I am sure, shirk its responsibility to contribute to the common fund. I wish, sir, the committee which had been appointed to go into where the additional national income had gone had entered upon its labors a bit earlier and had made its finding available to us. I do not want to state its findings, but I have a feeling that the committee, when it concludes its labors, will come to the conclusion that a major portion of this additional national income has gone into the pockets of a comparatively small number of men, small number of individuals. And it is they who must in future contribute their share to the country's taxation needs, because the profits they have earned are not all due to their own efforts and enterprise only. To a very large measure, they are the result of the economic policy of the government and due to certain other circumstances to which they did not contribute anything. Therefore, there is ample justification for the new taxes, the capital gains tax and the excess profit tax. I need not go in detail into all the reasons that my honorable friend has explained earlier so lucidly, but I must say that I entirely agree with them all. Having said this, I would like to say a few words about all locations which have been made to the various ministries in the budget. In discussing the demands for grants of the Finance Ministry, we have got to see to what extent the administration of this particular ministry has led to the development of our national wealth and the securing of the welfare which our state claims to have in view. Madam, we must try to analyze very carefully the working of this particular ministry because it is not merely a department of the government, so to say, but it is the nerve center of the administration of the country. I would like first to refer to the role of foreign capital because in determining the manner in which the permission of capital issues has been granted by the particular administration, we should keep in our mind to what extent the interests of our nation have been served. I fully endorse the statement which the previous speaker has made so far as repatriation of the investments made by the foreigners and of profits are concerned. We have dealt with this topic quite a number of times and I do not want to reiterate anything apart from only supporting what the honorable member who just spoke said. I would now like to deal with the investments of foreigners in India. Madam, the government of our country accepted the proposition that in allowing foreign investment, it should come in only in such industry and such form of production wherein our national investors will not come forward and in which technical skill is wanted. There is also one other factor which the industrial policy of our government of 1948 as adumbrated further in 1949 by the Prime Minister let down. It specifically said that the control and ownership of such concerns should as far as possible be in the hands of Indian nationals and the technical know-how of our country should be developed. I would like to emphasize the figures that have been put forward for the last few years. From 1947 till the end of 1952 or the early part of 1952, it has been reported that rupees 19 crores of foreign capital I have been allowed to be invested in our country. Of that, practically more than rupees 6 crores have been allowed to be invested in managing agency and trading enterprises in our country. So far as the government policy is concerned, we find that a sum of rupees 4 crores has been allowed to be invested this year. We do not know how it is to be used up. We have been told that during the period 1948-53, nearly rupees 35 lakhs have been allowed to be invested in textile machinery and generally in the textile industry. We have seen to what extent cotton and jute have been dominated by the national capital and to what extent they play the role as against the demand for them. We know further what the government is doing in regard to these industries and how the Indian counterpart in these industries are behaving. Then why this further penetration of foreign capital? Even in regard to the expansion scheme, we find that paints, soaps, electric fans and machine tools are some of the industries where the government is allowed foreign interest to establish or expand their factories. It will adversely compete with the production of the country when the indigenous producers do not find any market in this sphere. Therefore, we have got to see to what extent the capital issue has been regulated by this government and particularly by the finance department so that the national well-being of the country could be guaranteed. Then we have got to look into the fact as to how far the new industries are allowed to function. So far as the oil refineries are concerned, some of them have been established and some more are going to be established very soon. In the control of the administration, the Indians have no share. There are only preference shareholders and they have no voice in the management. So far as the administrative aspect in this country is concerned, the most important part of it is the technical know-how. They do not guarantee that they will train the Indians. That means they say even after 20 years we will have to face the problem of the know-how in respect of the oil refineries. I do not know why the government are showing softness to foreigners in this matter.